Hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It's been surfing my coffee table ever since. It's a constant source of comic book shop style conversations, the kinds that we used to have, back in the old funny book bodegas. And I use this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. I crack it open. We go to today's date. We look at some comic book art and we read the blurb. And then we talk about comic books. And then we're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So this is a 2004 Abrams publication, written and curated by Chip Kidd, Les Daniels, and Geoff Spear. There's a link in the blooper. There's a link in the description to the Amazon page if you want to pick up your own copy. It's at a reasonable price, and it will make a great gift or look great on your very own coffee table. What goes great with a coffee table book and a coffee table talk? How about some freshly brewed delicious coffee? I got some Tanzanian pea berry. Delicious, freshly brewed. You see the steam coming off that? All right, please don't pour that on your keyboard, Sully. That would be bad. Sláinte. Oh, that's a darn good cuppa. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm truly blessed that you're with us here right now. I also like to take this opportunity at the beginning of the show to state the escapism caveat. Listen, activism is very important. The world needs help. People in this world need genuine help. And activists are usually very well intended. Yet lately, the lines are purposely being blurred, and our fictions are being used as platforms to spread social messages. And there's always been elements of current events and even politics and even good and bad people and enemies in fictions. But escapism, it's very, very needed. We need it to leave this world's many problems behind just for a few minutes in a day, whether it's sports or art or music or comic books. And escapism does that. We can go to a different place, be a different person, slake off these problems that beset us and our worries, and we can use our imagination and, fight pirates or space aliens or be in a romance or, take down gangsters or even be a gangster. It's but activists lately have been acting like bullies and invading spaces to use those spaces and to take advantage of those spaces and the fandoms and the intellectual properties that drive our imagination. So activists, they have their space, they have their place, but so does entertainment and so does escapism. So what are we going to do? We're going to crack this book open to today's date. It is July the 6th, and it is Ibis the Invincible. Multiply shadows, become an army. It is truly written, the shadow of good is stronger than the reality of evil. My last army is being defeated. I summon my darkest magic. Smash them, powers of evil. Destroy the shadows of Prince Ibis. It's someone else with a magic wand. Perhaps it's the Black Pharaoh, his nemesis. Let's find out more. This is from Whiz Comics, number 52. March of 1944. There's no art or writing credit here. In The Terrible Dark One, Ibis the Invincible confronts a monarch of the briny deep who has chosen the wrong side in the war. and joined forces with the Nazis. Quote, "I have a great desire to see with my own eyes this evidence of unholy alliance," says Ibis, who tended to talk like that. Possessed of almost unlimited powers, he chooses to defeat the enemy by turning his own shadow into a phantom army. Once again, there's Ibis. He's holding aloft his magic wand, the Ibis stick. And let's talk about Ibis, the Invincible. Do we know much about him? We're going to find out just a little more about this Golden Age hero. He was a Fawcett Comics character, and he debuted in Whiz Comics, which was the original home of Captain Marvel, Shazam. And he was printed through Fawcett Comics from 1942 until 1953. Then Charlton Comics got the license in 1955, and then he's been published by DC Comics from 1976 until the present. Let's see. I'm reading from the wiki. Yes, I love to say the word wiki like that. Why not? It's cute. It's funny. It reminds me of Rich Evans from Red Letter Media, the beloved parody critic site. It's a great site. Go check out Red Letter Media. Only if you like fun and savage wits. Let's see. Prince Amenhotep. Prince Amenhotep. Ibis began his life as Amenhotep, a prince of ancient Egypt, who was in love with the beautiful princess Taya of Thebes. As a young man, Amenhotep is given the Ibis stick, a talisman of incredible power, by the Egyptian god Thoth. Who's Thoth? He was an ancient Egyptian deity. In art, he was often depicted as a man with the head of an ibis, or a baboon. Animals sacred to him. His feminine counterpart was Seshat, and his wife was Ma'at. He was the god of the moon, wisdom, writing, hieroglyphs, science, magic, and art and judgment. And so the god Thoth gave Amenhotep the Ibis stick, who empowers the talisman after Ibis was overthrown. Amenhotep's throne is eventually usurped with the aid of a demonic army conjured up by the evil god Set. So this is using ancient Egyptian mythology, gods and goddesses, ancient tales, and that we would find in museums and in history books as the backdrop of, a 1940s comic book. But it was eventually usurped by a cruel magician known as the Black Pharaoh. When Taya, who is under the protection of Osiris, refuses to marry the Black Pharaoh shoots her with a poisoned arrow. Using his Ibis stick, Amenhotep places his beloved in a suspended animation to allow her to heal. He casts a similar spell upon himself, hoping to be present when Taya revives. 4,000 years later, the mummy of Amenhotep returns to life in an American museum in 1940. This was later to be revealed the work of the wizard Shazam. Now called Ibis, Amenhotep sets out in search of his beloved, eventually finding her at another museum. Seeking to adjust to this new world, Ibis uses his vast powers to become a crime fighter. Ibis can do almost anything with his Ibis stick: build force fields around cities, transport himself and others, heal or destroy people, bring people back to life, or summon spirits, give superpowers, and even make objects appear out of thin air. Without the wand, however, he is powerless, and this weakness is frequently exploited by his enemies. The Ibis stick apparently vibrates in the presence of evil, and at one point it even wakes him up. And Taya was even shown once using the wand to make lightning strike a foe of Ibis, and often uses it at other times. It can be used by anybody, but not to cause harm to Ibis, or it will backfire on the user. It cannot be used directly against certain magics, quite literally evil magic or black magic. Ibis the Invisible is also, I found him in the, there's something called the Public Domain Superheroes Wiki. And Ibis, it claims that he's in the public domain, but last time I checked in 2007, the character was used by DC Comics. So at the point of keeping your intellectual property as your own trademark, you have to use it once in a while. So that's a bit on Ibis. And that's our walk today through the golden age of comics. And you know what? We're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, U.S., and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about cooking. I'm a professional chef. We talk about spirituality and gratitude. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian, a spiritual guy. Hashtag lighten up. It's about enlightenment and how a little spirituality can go a long way in your daily existence. And I also take videos of bunnies first thing in the morning grazing, having their breakfast. It's so cute. I get little nature moments. So tune in and enjoy. And thank you so much. Namaste, good luck, and God bless. And we will see you in the funny pages tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye.